your schedules and everything for afterwards, here's the
No.
generic stuff to
I
say.
got a meeting with June.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's empty.
I'll officially call this meeting of the Seneca County Board of Commissioners for January 26th to order. Please join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Jolie will lead us with the prayer.
Dear Lord, thank you for the many blessings that you give us throughout the year. And we ask for your strength and your wisdom to give us the wisdom as we make the decisions for the residents of Seneca County. In your name, amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Zoller?
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner?
We'll have the signing of the journal, and I'll accept a motion to approve the DVD recording of the previous board session, which was on Tuesday, January 12th, and the index of that meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve it as outlined.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Approved. Those documents. Okay, are there any adjustments to the printed agenda? Anything? Anybody else? Okay. We'll proceed with old business. We had inadvertently put museum on here and then realized Commissioner Kirschner was not going to be here, and he's the one that attended the last meeting, but a brief update on the construction aspects of the Seneca County Museum, or that there's going to be a meeting to occur between now and before next Tuesday, a kind of a pre-contracting meeting. There's some questions being asked before we can award the contract, and then if so, hopefully next Tuesday, we're awarding the contract for that, which then would allow for the schedule to be set to do a pre-construction meeting. And along with that, and been talking with the folks who did our bid specs, Palmer, about having a pre-construction update to any interested stakeholders type of meeting too. So that, the folks managing the museum for us, the Historical Society, as well as anybody interested who are helping fund that project and otherwise would be able to hear, what the plans are and how it will be staged and what will happen, and to the best of their ability to share that stuff. So those will be in the works. But again, we got to award the contract first, and there's a meeting to occur, so that hopefully we're doing that next Tuesday. So that's it on that.
Are the funds in place from both the entities?
Mhm, yes.
Okay, we physically have it on deposit then.
Yep.
And we've appropriated our part of it.
Yep. The Joint Justice Center is the next thing we have listed under old business. We had a leadership team meeting on Friday, and we're at the stage, as William and I were discussing in a previous interview, getting to the point where we're going to start to see some exciting things going on and things happening, because we'll get more concrete information once we have contracts signed. No pun intended on the concrete part, but we have contracts signed. They're at the stages that they're planning to have the A&E contract and the CMR as far as it can be done in place before our next leadership team meeting, which is the fourth Fridays, is the schedule for those every month at this point. Once that's done, right now, the architect selling is having programming type meetings with the folks who are going to be occupying that building. How do they want the floor to look? What floor where? All that kind of stuff. And once they're able to do that, they solidify some key facts, square, rectangle, height, ceilings, whatever, then they can solidify their number. We know if we can afford that number and put it into the whole process, and then we can get a schedule, which everybody seems to want to know when we're going to see something, what's going to happen, and that kind of stuff. And I'll ask Stacy to help me. There was a few more pre-construction kind of things that will be going on. One was the soil borings that took place right at the end of the year. Hopefully that doesn't lead to any environmental, but that is what you have to do. There's some site survey work that has to occur, that they'll do to check out elevations, roads, etc., other buildings. And there was one other thing.
You have to do phase one.
Oh, a phase one.
That goes back to the environmental.
It goes back to okay. So those things will happen in advance of these other things, and the other stuff moves right through. And so we're at the stages. One step has to happen for the next, and then we'll get things such as a schedule. People wanting to know how things will happen and when, and projections. And Chad from Gilbane, his comment on Friday was, once we're able to start, we're looking 14, 16 months. Isn't that what he said? 14, 16 months. That's the construction guy. So it's happening. It's happening. And like I said, those meetings are going, our meetings are going to continue on the fourth Friday. Time tentatively is 10:30. We had a judge request to move those to noon, and we're gonna check that out. She suggested we ask the leadership team, so that was my response back from the email yesterday. So,
Holly, I certainly appreciate the efforts and all that you're doing, and I realize it is a huge, huge project. There's no doubt about it, and there's a lot of different pieces and parts that have to come together on it. I just caution everybody that, you know, as we continue to delay the project, that it's costing us $35,000 a month of increased cost.
we're not delaying it though.
Yeah, well,
Don't use the
yeah,
word delay.
but what we have to do, matter of fact, I had a meeting this morning with one of the judges, and a project like this, we can't have meetings once a month. You should have meetings once a week to keep the project moving.
Well,
We need
that's
to,
just
we need to be
leadership.
telling the architects and the CMRs and all this, and give them a timeline and say, they're working for us. They don't need to, we gotta tell them, hey, this is what we want done, get it done, get it done. And I realize that's a difficult, I've been through building projects, not quite of this size, but I've been through building projects, and never any of this complexity. But I just look at the taxpayers and the money it's costing the taxpayers, and we gotta keep it moving. And once a month meeting is not enough. And we gotta be telling them, this is a time frame, you get it done.
It is a cooperative project with the city, the justices, and the county, and working with our partners on this project. Right now, it's the monthly schedule. That doesn't mean that nothing happens in between. There is a lot of stuff going on, like selling meeting with all of those stakeholders. There's lots of meetings going on that allows them to come back and report monthly, and we can raise the suggestion that you want something more current of that. But they are doing other stuff. It's not like they're not doing anything and that people aren't working for the same target goal.
It is a monumental project. I will certainly give you that, but not that we want to hastily do something, but we got to keep it moving, and we got to keep it moving at a pace, realizing that you got a ticker going on here, and that ticker is increased cost through increased construction costs. And again, the study that was done is construction costs increased 4.5% a year. So you look at that, you got a $10 million project or $11 million project, it's $35,000 a month, every month.
And transparency is part of this process, and we're following all those steps that are kind of keeping us at the schedule we're at, but points well taken. Anything else for the Justice Center, Stacy, you need to add? Okay. We will move to new business, and there we have the board session January 28th listed.
Thursday.
That is the Thursday
We
meeting.
need to cancel that board meeting.
Oh, that's, okay.
Well, we are canceling that.
We don't need that one? Okay. That would be our.
That's this Thursday.
Yeah. Yes,
Alright. I'm in Columbus, Mike's gone.
yes.
Okay.
We can do it with just Fred.
No, you can't, that would be.
Nobody agrees. I wouldn't even agree with myself.
So the session for January 28th is canceled.
Yep.
I was thinking we already done that, that's what I was throwing down.
I don't know if we ever officially.
We probably didn't
We
officially
talked
take it
about
off.
it, but I don't think officially on board, so we figured we better remember to do that.
Okay. We'll be back here next Tuesday, the next meeting. Okay, bill vouchers.
Okay, I have bill vouchers, 11/327 through 11/470, or, yeah, 474. I have a supplement to the permit appropriation for the general fund, putting $15,500 into equipment line. This is for the sheriff in the new Project Lifesaver program. I have a resolution authorizing a fund transfer to be made to the CDBG NSP fund, transferring $26.39. I have a supplement to the permit appropriations for the County Sewer District Replacement and Improvement Fund, putting $35,000 into the Bascom line. I have a supplement to the permit appropriations for the general fund, putting $1,293.25 into equipment. This is at the request of the sheriff to get a new toaster. They were going to order it and had money in place in 2015, but they did not get it ordered, so they are asking to put that money back into their equipment line. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the general fund, putting $9,000 into contract services. This is for a weather beacon out to the airport. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation for the general fund, putting $1,000 into equipment. This is for a new computer for the maintenance department. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the Seneca County Sewer District, putting $358,999.46 into the transfers outline, and this is going to be put into this is for the compliance for the USDA loan resolution, transfer to the replacement improvement fund. I have resolution authorizing appropriation adjustment within the general fund, moving $4,465.43 from salaries to advertising. This is at the request of Veteran Services. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the general fund, putting $200 into travel. This is at the request of the clerk of courts. She had reduced her contract services line in her budget last year to put the additional $200 into her travel, but we didn't get it moved. We reduced her contract services, but we didn't increase her travel. A resolution amending the board's orders of May 31st, 2012, volume 88, page 286, resolution establishing the Bascom New Regal Sewer Replacement Improvement Fund. Tanya, after talking to the auditor's office and John Larson, when we created the fund, we created it as the Bascom New Regal Fund because we were doing bonding for it. But in essence, the USDA says it's a countywide sewer replacement fund, so basically all we're doing is changing the name. A resolution authorizing an agreement with WSOS for assistance in administering the Seneca County Community Development Block Grant FY 14 and 15 for the periods of December 17th, 2015 through June 17th, 2016. I have a resolution entering into an administration agreement for the Seneca County Housing Revolving Loan Fund, authorizing Holly M. Stacy as president of the board, Seneca County Commissioners to sign on behalf of the board for a period of January 1st, 2016 to December 31st, 2018.
16.
No, the resolution probably says 18, I probably looked at it wrong.
Yeah, it does say, it says for a 3-year period. The
Yeah,
current
I
RLF
just put-
agreement expired on December 31st, 15.
It needs to be
Yeah,
18.
this
Okay.
is 16.
So it is supposed to be 18?
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
The motion,
Make a motion that we approve the appropriations as discussed.
I will second. Any comments or questions on any of the items? You want to ask? Anything? Okay, seeing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirchner? Commissioner Zoll?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes, all approved. Thank you. That will lead us to an opportunity for citizens' comments at this time in our meeting. Are there comments from the citizens? Yes.
Yeah, I've
Morning,
got
Mr.
some
Goshen.
questions, not comments. Is the courthouse, the one proposed, is that design gonna be, per that picture was in the paper?
Yep,
Pictures-
that was a rendering concept of what
Yeah.
the external design committee, which was all locals led by Judge Schuff, perceived as it could look like and would fit in with downtown, things we liked, meet the needs, etc. The architect, and at that point, the architect wasn't hired, we were interviewing them, but they received that information knowing well what the interest was of local, and with local input, and similar, probably, we don't have it final, but say it's gonna look like that 100%, no, can't say that, it was a concept.
Well, I'm not an architect or anything like that, but I can see some holes in that thing, it's so pathetic.
Okay, well, like I said, it was just a concept.
Yeah, first of all, they showed like 3 floors, like a half floor and a bottom, evidently where the windows are. Then 2 floors, and then an upper floor with a sloped roof. And I don't know if that upper floor is supposed to be occupied or not.
It's a full, well, in that concept, it was a full floor, and they called that a mansard roof, if I believe right, where it looks like a roof, but it's really a true floor. It just looks like it's all roof line, but there are windows there.
Yeah, okay, that's the point I'm gonna bring up. Every one of those windows in there, easily, is gonna cost you $500 more to put that window in than it would be a vertical window. In other words, those windows are made vertical, and they had to be built out to make them vertical from that sloped roof. And every one of those windows is gonna cost you a minimum of $500.
Out of my level of expertise, but, factors I'm sure that are gonna be looked at as they do work through the final design and that kind of stuff. That was just, again, was our input to give them direction, so, they didn't come in with something modern looking, and that's not what seemed to be the interest of the locals, so.
Well, okay. Then, and not only the initial cost of putting the windows in, you got that little seamer all around that window because the thing sets, the roof's like this and window sets like this, and you gotta build
Yeah, I know
around it.
that, yeah.
And every one of them is prone to leak. And that's one side of that building, you got 6 windows on it in that vertical part. The other side probably gonna have 6 in it too. The 2 sides that you can't see by that view probably has 2 or 3. We'll just say that there's 16 windows in there. That is gonna be $8,000 more just to build that thing, and then the maintenance on that thing's gonna be that much more monstrous. Okay? In other words, so you're saying that now that's, they aren't gonna use that as a usable floor?
It was, no, in that drawing from the external and the internal design committee, that was their ideas of this square, 4-story mansard roof type of building. It was just presented out something we like, but it wasn't like, shut the door, make it look like this. It was, this is what we like, now bring us concepts, and if you come in with something like totally different, we're probably not gonna like it, but, as the architect, the professionals who are hired by us to do this, they're coming up with ideas and working through the programming side, the inside stuff, floor layout, number of floors, all that stuff, as well as what it will physically look like. And then that has to match with what we can afford. So that's the stages they're going through right now. So, good points, and like I said, I'm sure that they thought in all those things as well as they, started working on the design of it, which is what they're doing.
Then another thing, that roof design, go around downtown Tiffin, see if you can find another place with that roof design in any of the buildings down there. There's one building over on Perry Street, it's an older house, it probably was a mansion at one time, that has that type of roof with the extended down, the vertical windows and the sloped roof. That's the only one I've seen in this whole town, in the downtown area. So
The others on the committee knew all that stuff, and I'm
Well,
not gonna attest to
okay.
remember it, but they talked about all the architecture of the downtown and what has been and used to be here and that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, well, they're talking about, something like that. Basically what it amounts to, if they put something like that in downtown, it differs from almost everything else. It's gonna stick up out like a sore thumb. It's not gonna be the attractive part of it, it's gonna stick out. Okay, that's my opinion, and I think that I can back that opinion up a little bit. Okay, then they can say the maintenance thing. Then another thing, if that design goes next to that annex building, you don't agree with that design at all. It don't even come close to matching that annex building.
Like I said,
Why not have something that's gonna be relatively compatible to it?
I'm not gonna tell you it doesn't, I'm not gonna argue with you, I appreciate the input, and obviously the paper will carry stuff and they'll hear it, but there was a lot of that stuff considered, I don't have, remember all of that stuff, but there was the compatibility, the size structure, the superior building of the two, all taken into consideration by all of those people interested. Did you?
Yeah, I believe that what the citizens of Seneca County are looking for is something that fits within the community and is a example of a pillar of justice, okay? And looking at, trying to keep some of the nostalgic aspect of the old courthouse, even though we can't replicate the old courthouse, right? So I think you're gonna have, that's my opinion here, just my opinion only, but I don't think that the new and the old is gonna, it'll blend, but the new is, or the old is very modern, and I don't think that that's the direction that I have heard from the citizens of Seneca County. They don't want this, they want to try to replicate as much as financially possible to the old courthouse. Keep some
But this is,
architectural design in there, so it's not gonna fit, completely, but they will certainly have a
Yeah.
transition there. I mean, that is, again, just my opinion, but there is a lot of work that's gotta be done on that, as Holly is intimated, and it not gonna be easy.
you talk about doing it with the old courthouse, this is totally different than the old courthouse. And I know that that's
Yeah.
not a possibility.
Yeah.
The old courthouse construction's way out of line with today. But this thing, only thing I can say for it is unique, but it's ugly, butt ugly. It's really butt ugly.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
And that may not be a good expression to say, but that's what it amounts to. If this design it's gonna sit in there and it's not gonna be compatible with downtown at all. It's gonna look like it look like a sore thumb. And that's only my unbiased opinion.
There you go, there you go, thanks for sharing.
And
Yes,
I guess I'll keep
Mr. English.
quiet now.
I just had a question for the commissioners. Is the planning committee's meeting on the fourth Friday of the month, is it open to the public?
Yes, yes,
I would suggest, in going through it with the middle school, if there's designs that the public could see, they may not have input, but it would give people a little better understanding of what the architecture might look like.
yeah, we just don't have those yet.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
for
that will.
the gentleman's, benefit.
Yep, definitely.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
opportunity
Thank
to,
you for saying gentlemen.
well, but it would give somebody an opportunity to see
Yep.
what the designs are gonna start looking
And
like.
that certainly is the intent. Our goal is to keep things as transparent and out there in the open so people know what's happening and can raise the questions they want to raise and that kind of stuff. But share the information, even have, presentations go out to community groups, whatever we can to keep people informed when we've got enough information and facts to share, and even when there's still opportunity for input and feedback and that kind of thing. So, yeah, good points. Thank you.
This is a house for the residents of Seneca County. This is their house, and we want their strong input on it. Our charge is to build something that we can all afford. That's our charge. But the design is certainly gonna be very much influenced by many, many people. Because again, this is a courthouse for the residents of Seneca County, not the commissioners, the residents of Seneca County. So that will very much be taken, but you know what? You're never gonna please everybody on the whole thing. You try to get 51% in your favor. Or better.
Other comments? Yes.
Did I understand that then that top part of the sloped roof is probably not gonna be used as office space, or it's just gonna be a,
In that rendering, it was a full floor.
yeah.
It just looked like nothing but roof,
Yeah.
but it's a full functioning
Yeah.
floor.
Okay,
So-
that's what I was wondering, if it's a full floor, those windows are necessary, but if it's not a full floor, if it's for storage or something like that, the windows are not necessary and shouldn't be there.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay,
it was,
all right.
in that rendering, it was full floor.
Thank me, I'm gonna shut up.
Well,
We appreciate your comments.
appreciate the input and you being here. Other comments? We go to the order. Seeing none? Seeing no further business? I guess we take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned, 10:23. Thank you.